So apparently yesterday's video showed a deck profile for the Final Fantasy TCG that's not legal because the playset is actually 3, not 4. We had misread that, so that's our bad, that's on us, but here's an edited version of that Earth and Ice deck that fits the 3 playset rule. So we have 3 Ninja for the same reason that we had it yesterday, because it chooses a dual forward of 2 or less and breaks it. Your 2 cost WRO member, because it prevents your commander from being broken, and the commander is one of the better units in the deck that we have for the Earth side of things. You have 3 Masked Woman because it's a better version of the Ninja. It breaks a cost 4 that's dual. And then we've got 2 Rydia to search summons, and that's just because we're running about 5 or 6 summons in this deck. So Rydia is really good just to kind of search through our deck, thin it out a little bit, and get the summons that we want. So that's it for the backups of the Earth side of things. For the forwards of the Earth side of things, we've got 3 female WRO members. And if you control 2 card-named WRO members, that includes the backup unit. She gets 1,000 power and Brave, so that's really good. And then the commander, because he gives all WRO members you control plus 2,000, so that's just really good. There's good synergy, and the WRO member over here makes it where he can't be broken, so overall, it's a pretty good suite of things just to protect each other and boost their power. Then we have 3 Berserker, just because it's fairly low cost and it's decent power at 8,000, so it can attack, and it has to attack, and it can break through your opponent's boards fairly easily, especially in the early game. And then we have 2 Horror of Antiquity, just because I don't really want to see it too much. It's just kind of in here until I find something better, honestly. But when it leaves the field, you can play another one from your hand, so it's decent at 2 cost 6,000 with that effect. Then we have 2 Atomos for our 2 Earth summons. The other summons are Ice, but Rydia can still search for them. But Atomos, just I choose 1 forward and I deal damage to it equal to the highest power forward that I control. And with the WRO members, they can get pretty beefy, and some of the other cards are just pretty strong just on their own. For the blue half of the deck, we have 3 Amina and 3 Kazusa, and that's because Amina makes Kazusa cheaper. She also makes Kurasame cheaper, and we have I think a playset of him in here as well. And Kazusa makes both players discard a card from their hand. So what I usually like to do is I try to get to where Amina's on the field, and then I play my whole hand out to where I just have Kazusa left, and then I play him, and that means I don't have to discard what my opponent does, and I usually have a big board after this. And then we also have 2 Harley and 2 Edward. Harley does kind of the same thing for Edward, and Edward, he has an ability where he can make them discard a card from their hand as well. So overall, it's just kind of a hand control backup engine. We still have Qatar, Bashtar in here. I still want to get rid of these 4 more Kujas and Genesis, but overall, it's not terrible. It's just when he attacks, you choose a 3 cost or less, and you freeze it, so that makes it where they can't block with something. Then you've got Semblance of a Gunslinger. You choose a dual forward, deal at 5,000, so with all of your stuff that you're dueling with, or after they block or whatever, you can play this card, and it will probably break it if it's a low cost card, or deal it enough damage to break it after battle. And then we've got 3 Kurasame, because you choose up to 2 of your opponent's forwards and you freeze them, and that's just a really good effect because I don't want them to attack or block most of the time. So it's just a really control-y deck. We've got Kuja I want more of this card because when he attacks I can pay 2 energy to dull and freeze a unit, so he's really good. Genesis is amazing because when he enters the field he just dulls and freezes a unit, and when he deals damage the opponent discards a card from their hand. So I'm just trying to make them drop cards from their hand while I'm making it where they can't attack, so it's just really controlly and oppressive, and it's honestly just hard to deal with. Then we have 1 Genesis avatar because when he enters the field everything takes 5,000 damage pretty much on their side of the field. So you're killing all their small units, you're damaging their other units to where if they block they're going to die. And you want to play this usually late game to use that effect where you have a full board and you're going to swing over everything no matter what. Then we've got 3 Shiva to dull forwards to help with the earth stuff with breaking the dull units and just to make it where they can't block. So overall, like I've been saying, it's very controlly and oppressive, and that's why I love this deck. And then last but not least, we have 1 copy of Minerva, and you don't need more than 1 because otherwise it's just going to clog up your hand, because if you have it in your hand and you can't play it, you can't discard it for any energy cost or CP or anything, so it's just sitting there dead in your hand and it's kind of useless. So 1 cost, or 1 of these is all you need, and its effects are really good. You can either make all forwards you control gain 3,000, make all of your opponents forwards lose all of their abilities, or you can draw a card. So it's really good. I've been using the draw a card a lot just because it helps me kind of make more plays, but losing all of the abilities of your opponent's forwards, that's just really good. Especially when you have that 1 Mystic card or whatever it is that when it's killed deals 4,000 damage after it's killed, so I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to say no to that. I'm going to run into it and kill it. And that's it for the deck profile. If you have any questions about it, any suggestions, or if you just want to say hi, leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.